So, in the words of my dad, when he would walk in and see us watching something after he had a long day of work, what the hell is this trash? Oh boy. So I've heard things about the Halo television show and how it's shaping up to be probably one of the biggest messes ever. Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes. So, Halo TV series to completely change Master Chief's character, focus on Kuan Ah for human perspective. So we're doing the Transformers route. The while the main character is doing all this other shit, let's go ahead and focus on a character that has nothing to do with it. We have to get the audience's perspective, even though anybody who is interested in this is obviously a fan of Halo and has read the books and has watched the Reach mini movie thing that was on. I want to say that was a Machinima production. I remember watching it like way back when, and it actually was good. It had a lot of really good stuff going for it. But we're to believe that this version, that Paramount version of this, is going to be the definitive version. Watch as your favorite thing is being taken by a company that is completely like murdered wholesale series such as Star Trek and anything else that, or actually SpongeBob. I remember that SpongeBob Camp spinoff, whatever, has pretty much fucked up anything Hildebrand had established with the characters. And welcome to Hellscape. So, hot off of the heels of the controversial announcement that the series protagonist will be unmasked for his upcoming Paramount Plus debut, the Halo TV series, TV series has revealed that not only will their version of Master Chief be a nearly completely different version of the iconic character, but that heavily advertised teenage female lead, Kuan Ah, will be a focus of the series as she provides a human perspective to the story. Basically, watch character that you don't give a fuck about completely overshadow main character that you did give a fuck about, and eventually wind up completely changing everything around. And now we're supposed to focus on this because current year rules. Again, watch everything you love be slowly destroyed by a bunch of political bullshit. It's bad enough that Master Chief is taking his mask off, which is actually a cardinal sin, because the only reason why he would remove his helmet is once you beat the game on Legendary and you got to see like little glimpses of what he would look like in certain perspectives. They never showed his face. I don't need to see his face. This is like Judge Dredd. This sounds to me like Judge Dredd when Stallone did Dredd, and he just decided, I don't want to wear this helmet. But the helmet is the core facet of Judge Dredd's character in the 2000 AD series. So when Carl Urban did it in Dredd, he actually did a really good job, and he still kept it on. This Carl Urban's kind of pretty awesome. He did a really good job in the Star Trek reboot as Bones. I was like, okay, that's definitely, he's channeling a little bit of DeForest Kelly there. So when he was Dredd, I actually really enjoy that movie, and I really want to see it with the 3D stuff on. Mama. But compare that to this. We're getting Stallone Dredd in Halo form, and this is just not it, Chief. These upcoming details regarding the upcoming live-action adaptation of the Bungie-created sci-fi FPS franchise were touched upon by the Paramount Plus 343 Industries head of Halo Transmedia, Kiki Wolfkill, who also serves as an executive producer on the series. Showrunner Stephen Kane and Master Chief actor Pablo Schreiber during a recent interview given to Den of Geek magazine's Megan Krause. At the onset of the interview, Wolfkill explained to Krause that the team had decided to set Halo in a new silver timeline. Why are you adjusting things? Everything in Halo is perfect for creating a television series for him. And again, we have executives that think that they know better than the source material and want to just basically want to put their mark on the series, is why they make these alterations. It's stupid. So stupid. So stupid. So they want to make a silver timeline, similar in concept to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek fan series Kelvin timeline. Why does it always come back to J.J. Abrams ruining things? In order to allow them the opportunity to make changes to the franchise's original continuity and lore. That's not what people were interested in. Leave your ego at the fucking door and just at least make an attempt to do something that is very honorable to the series. But you won't do that because you know, as long as you can get enough numbers to make it to season 2, you're going to do whatever the fuck you want. We know this. You continue. Sometimes, even if it's just a perspective change, sometimes it was something you just didn't get a view from the game or even the books. We needed to let the story breathe on its own. The story has multiple books. I remember going to Barnes and Noble like in my early 20s and seeing a shit ton of Halo books, and actually like sat there and read through like a couple chapters just to get a feeling, whatever. Like the story has plenty of time to breathe on its own. You had a Animatrix equivalent of various stories told in the Halo universe, which can also would do a good job to prove that you don't need to make any alterations. But here we are, changing things again, trying to make our mark on the series by taking our bad writing ideas and putting it into a series that doesn't really need anything. Fuck me, Jesus Christ. At the end of the day, it all comes down to being able to make moment-to-moment decisions, she added. God damn it, why? I must insinuate myself into everything because I know better than a bunch of people. Or let's really break it down to what it is. As a woman with a fragile ego, I must make everything about women and ignore all the things that men have done, even though men have built everything that I am stealing and basically ruining. And then you try to claim that it's male privilege and masculinity that's the fucking problem. This reminds me of a story that happened a couple of years ago when I was a graphic designer. I had inherited a plant from one of my coworkers that was leaving to go somewhere else. So I'm not really good with taking care of plants, but I watered the plant. I had kept it by my radio, which I used to listen to music throughout the day, and I would listen to like a couple like afternoon talk shows. There was this radio station back in Virginia that had these two DJs, and they would just kind of their joke around. It was like one of the best shows ever, where they were talking about like banging chicks and like all this other stuff. And that was our afternoon. We listened to like music. So the plant had music, the plant had like sunlight, had a perfect spot, and like I had a window seat in my office, so I put the plant in the window and I would give it water, and it started growing. It started growing and it started actually looking really healthy. So one of my female coworkers decided to take the plant because she said, I'm really good at taking care of plants, so I'm going to take care of this plant or whatever. You don't know what you're doing. I'm going to do it. So she takes the plant, proceeds to take it to her office because she swore up and down that she was the better horticulturalist than I am. And in a period of like weeks, the plant decided to brown out and die. So once again, it's it's always a matter of ego. It's always a matter of ego in these situations. You have these people out there that think that they can do a better job than other people, when all I'm doing is simple shit. You could do simple shit yourself, but you choose not to do it because it's, if I do this, then I prove that you're right. It's ego. Anyways, Wolf Kill elaborated, every day there were decisions to be made about how we do something exactly as it was done in the game, or if there are good reasons to do it differently. And if so, how do we keep it true to the spirit of Halo, but at the same time, keep the voice of all the incredible creators coming through? It's not about the creators. Honey, if it were about the creators, then you'd be able to like create something entirely different and you wouldn't need the Halo brand in order to push your shit. You'd be making like something brand new, like say, I don't know, your version of Halo or your version of Battlestar Galactica. That you would imagine that, but for some reason you need this brand because it's popular and you need eyes on your project. So you're taking the opportunity to take this brand and inject your bullshit into it because you think that that's now that people are fans of this thing, they're going to be a captive audience and they're going to actually put up with this shit. But the reality of this is, I don't have to watch this shit. Yeah, I know I have friends and there's a lot of people that say that they will watch it regardless just to see how it goes. I'm not a fucking masochist. I have a lot of better things to do with my free time. I have like plenty of things going on in my free time. I have like a bunch of art. I'm sitting here staring at like a pile of like artwork for the projects that I'm working on with the Sunday Art Jam, and there's a lot of things that I'm looking at where I'm like, yeah, I could sit here, I could draw all these characters, get all this stuff together, actually build something or whatever. I don't have to sit here and like watch failed attempts at things that are geared at trying to get me interested in somebody brutally raping the thing that I enjoyed watching or playing or whatever. And you know, it sounded like it was hyperbole when you state things like that. But now, after like about 6 years of this shit, it really is what it is. So anyways, according to Krauss, one such example of a major change to the series lore is the historic fall of Reach, the Covenant attack that wiped out most of humanity's Spartan soldiers, or at least until 343 Industries got to work on the series. And left the Master Chief as one of the last of not only surviving result of Earth's super soldier ambitions. In the games, this event happens prior to humanity's discovery of the first Halo ring. However, in the series, the fall of Reach has not yet occurred, most likely as a way to allow the production to feature more Spartans. Or whatever. Halo series promotes diverse cast over Master Chief in first trailer. This one has, like I said, way to take something that I really enjoyed and just kind of just completely shit on the premise. You don't want to just tell the game in television form, Kane said, of the silver timeline approach. You want to have a conversation with the material. A conversation with the material. The game has been around for so long, the canon is not only deep but wide. Well, that means you have plenty of stuff to work with, and you could actually like start telling the stories like the Fall of Reach, which that would be a great season 1, and you don't have to bring Chief in until much later. Or you could tell the story about how John was basically forcibly abducted from his home and flash cloned, and then like brought up in the military. You could do that story somewhere in between the Fall of Reach as like kind of like little like a B plot. But hey, I'm just the guy in the chair. There are opportunities to dig into the canon and find characters that were only hinted at in stories half mentioned and dig in and invent new stuff. Opportunities to basically make up bullshit and try to insinuate it into the main storyline. This is the reason why I don't do streaming services that much anymore. really don't fucking care about streaming services as much. Because it's like, you could actually make an attempt, Ms. Wade. You could actually make an attempt to try to do something decent. No, of course not. A discussion then turned to the topic of the series' principal cast, but more specifically turned into Yurinha's Koran Ah, an original series character whose juxtaposition of her hatred of the Spartans against the necessity of fighting alongside the Master Chief will serve as one of Halo's main narrative forces. You know, we don't need stereotypical Asian chick, whatever. You had Black Apone, and you had Apone character, you had Michelle Rodriguez's character, you had like a whole bunch of other like characters that existed in the Halo mythos that would have been great characters to put in there. Johnson is probably one of the most revered characters in the Halo series. Okay. I mean, like I said, it's just Johnson's just an Apone knockoff, but Johnson's existence really makes the series. Halo 2 is a much more enjoyable series thanks to enjoyable game due to Johnson. But okay. Again, we have to insinuate a female Asian character, and how much you want to bet that she's going to start overshadowing the Spartans' abilities to fight, or she's going to become a Spartan, but she'll become the best Spartan ever, I'll tell you that much. Following a massive tragedy, Kane further noted, she's off on her own. She has to discover what her true purpose in the galaxy is. Rey Palpatine. You basically stole Rey Palpatine's storyline. Rey Palpatine just stole her story from other characters in the Star Wars universe, but go on. This isn't oh my god. Executives always think that they're so smart and so clever for some half-ass fucking ideas that just barely get off the... Jesus. You couldn't fucking pay me to watch this shit. The other thing we get from her is a very human perspective on the Spartans in these events and all these large-scale elements. The Spartans are fucking human. They're just cybernetically enhanced. Wolfkill added, Kuan is a grounded human perspective on that, which I think is definitely unique. Like the Spartans aren't like sitting there thinking like, shit, I was put through all this shit, and I got a perspective too. I'm a fucking human being too. But go on, you make it sound like the Spartans are just like fucking drones. She didn't explain that through the show's creative team was fully intent. Though the show's creative team was fully intent on deviating from established series canon, 343 Industries still held a writer's boot camp to both familiarize us with the concepts and events, as well as explore how to connect viewers with Halo on a personal level. Jeez. For me, the boot camp really had two levels to it. She recalled, what does Halo mean, and what's the emotional resonance of Halo? And what are the core values? What are the core values and deeply seated aspects of Halo? These at the very end are at the very heart of anything we do, she continued. Regardless of lore, making sure weapons are named correctly or look the right way, there's a very basic understanding of what Halo is about and why it means certain things to certain people. After 20 years, do we have fans? Do we have the fans and audience we do? As for Master Chief himself, Kane asserted that his backstory would be one of the elements to be changed in the series' jump from video games to television, changing the Master Chief from a highly indoctrinated super soldier brutally trained from childhood to fight on behalf of the United Nations Space Command to a mindless automaton whose memory had been erased and his emotions actively suppressed. Could you find a bigger cliche? Do you have like a dartboard of like cliche backstories and we just throw darts at them until we amnesiac soldier who basically uncovers his history throughout the course of the series. His story is superiorly more interesting. Infinitely more interesting than Amnesiac Soldier. You actually have him grow up to be like this soldier. I mean, look at this. There are things that existed, mainly. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, why is this article is making me hate myself for having to cover this shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hollywood Reporter claimed on March 11th, rather than reviewing Master Chief's opaqueness as a hurdle, Halo makes the character ignorant of his past. His memory has been erased and his emotions have been chemically suppressed. There's something more resonating with somebody basically being forced in a situation and there's nothing they can do to solve the problem than trying to play Amnesiac fills in the blanks for like 3 seasons. I was forcibly kidnapped from my home as a child. I was Flash cloned, so there's a clone version of me living my life and going off and doing the things that I wanted to do, having the best life you possibly can have, while I'm over here just basically being forced to kill things because the government wants me to. There's a level of there's a level of deep introspection and like shit going on with that. Like if you could take that and establish it into just this, there's a reason why this character is this way, and the way he talks, the way he acts, the way he feels, his perspective on life. You could do a deep exploration in that, but you choose to go with bullshit Amnesiac storyline. I'm fucking disgusted right now. So the question is, who is Master Chief? Oh my god. Oh my god. That's such an executive talking point. Who is Master Chief? Who is he, really? It becomes a journey for Schreiber's character as well as the audience across the season, but 9 episodes as he finds himself defying orders to protect a young girl. Fuck off. The key is that Master Chief is a bit of a cipher, Kane told Den of Geek. In a game, you are Master Chief. If you don't read the books, you don't know the backstory. That's why the lore exists. You could tell the backstory in a way that actually, like, just... You could do it in a series of flashbacks. I mean, The Mandalorian just gave you everything you needed to know, but you decided to, instead of go the Mandalorian route, you went the Book of Boba Fett route. Which, how well did that do, by the way? How well did it actually do? Were people that enthralled with the Book of Boba Fett by the end of it? Well, was it really like that great other than the cameos and like all the other shit? And Marine Corps got depression, man. Like that type of shit. Like, even though I love Danny Trejo, I was like, you couldn't fucking pay me to see that either. If you don't read the books, you don't know the backstory. But in general, he stands in for all of us as we play the game. So this is a chance to get in under the hood, so to speak. I really hope to God that Nintendo like tightens the reins on any Zelda movie that comes out or Samus Aran movie. Because, like, seriously, if they try to play Samus Aran as an amnesiac, who's just understanding why she's a female in space, and embracing that female best of victimhood in order to become the bestest ever. Like, if we're doing that shit, I swear to you, you couldn't fucking pay me. Elaborated the first season. How far do we have to go? Oh, thank you, Jesus. The first season explores John's character by approaching John discovering himself. He's a man dedicated to honor, integrity, courage, and serving humanity, but he isn't fully formed out, at least in our description of him. He's not fully aware of himself as a human being. Get the fuck out of here. If you know the canon and you know the history of how he became a Spartan, it's not a pretty history. I was about to call him Kanye. Kane that continued. That's why I think it actually makes the world of the game so interesting. He's not just a clean-cut superhero type. His past is sort of dark. He's both a victim and a hero at the same time. But you're trying to play, he's discovering it as we're discovering it. You can actually tell this story in a series of flashbacks as the missions are going. I mean, fucking Mandalorian and Arrow did this for the first 5 years, and it actually was a successful storytelling idea. It's probably a better storytelling device than what you are trying to do right now, where we Wolverine our way through a whole backstory. Christ's sakes. Schreiber added, without giving too much away, Master Chief is going to be a constantly shifting tapestry based off of the new information he's being faced with, and how it challenges his sense of self and his sense of honor and duty, because you can't have a sense of honor and duty and not understand where you came from. It's not a matter of questioning his life and all other bullshit you're trying to put in there. It's the fact of the matter that he has to do the job that he has to do. He's quintessentially what you would call a man. You know the job is dangerous, but I still have to do this because maybe if I get through this and everything is over, I can go and finally be done with this shit and move on with my life. Shit has to be done. The country has to be defended, or the earth has to be defended, and we got a war to fight. That's pretty much the mentality of what Master Chief is. He is an enduring figure. Despite all the shit that goes on, he has to do what he has to do because that's all he has. His identity is just, what's the next mission? He also noted that we know that USNC kidnapped and essentially conscripted child warriors, who they then modified into super soldiers. While we know the end result, they ended up Spartan 2s, which have been our best weapon against the alien invasion. Also opened up a host of moral dilemmas and question marks as to whether it was a moral decision. You could tell that story without pulling the amnesiac card. You could tell that story in a way that actually or start raising those questions in a way that actually does justice to the story. Oh my god. Ultimately, in conclusion to his and Wolfkill's time with Kraus, Kane summarized to the reporter, "We want people to see that John is the most lethal weapon a human can be, but in trade for that he paid the price for his humanity." That's the story of everyone in this season, he declared. Everyone is discovering the limits of their own humanity, or what was lost in their humanity, because they're all in this giant existential... It's not an existential war. You're in a war with another alien civilization. The Covenant... Existential war. The war inside of you. Or it could just be that in war, we tend to find ourselves doing some really shady shit, and a lot of people have to come to terms with that. My God, the Vietnam War. If you've seen any media portraying the Vietnam War and all the stuff that happened, and a lot of things that people were forced to do that they weren't ready to do, and they came back and they. Because of all the stuff that was going on and all the chemicals and all the experimentation shit that was going on, there's a lot of like shit that people had to come to terms with and deal with. That's an existential war. The existential aspect of war is the psychological aspect of surviving trauma on an almost daily basis. That's the existential nature of war. You're just trying to turn this into like some talking point. Halo set to premiere exclusively on Paramount Plus on March 24th. What do you make of these new insights into Halo's production? Let us know your thoughts on social media. Oh my god. I don't understand why they changed literally everything about the source material, then have an original character that was shoehorned in to be the focus of the story. Then that story has a completely different focus than the source material. Make an entirely different new show. This is why we don't have streaming anymore. The rare thing we want to watch, we just pirate. No money for any of these services ever. I'm getting to the point where I fucking agree with that. Yeah, people pretty much called it when the trailer was revealed. Halo fans deserve much better than this in recent games. Pulling the focus away from Master Chief and showing his face, Dan is a testament to the fact that they're trying to exploit an intellectual property that they don't understand. I agree with that. So, you know what? There are already female Spartans whose stories haven't been fully explored. They could have gone with Kelly, Linda, Maria, etc., told stories from an entirely new vantage point. It would have satisfied their feminist bent and likely still pleased fans new and old. Instead, we get this. Because they must humiliate the main character as a male. Yes, again, we gotta take the things that men made and pretty much fuck them up in order to make women who have no fucking skin in the game whatsoever look like they're more competent in the writing habits and all this other stuff. And you would say that's a misogynist statement, but it just feels as if these women are compensating for their lack of empathy and lack of intelligence. And you can fucking quote me on that. If you feel offended about that, tough shit. I don't fucking care. Anyways, I'm so disgusted by this. Thank you for joining me for this, and I'll see you next boss fight. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Jesus Christ.